Imagine waking up to a flood of notifications, yet wishing your phone would just stay completely silent. You look at the date on the calendar, but you feel absolutely nothing. While others demand cake, large parties, and endless attention, you choose to hide your birthday entirely. You log out of social media to prevent those forced, awkward greetings. Society tells us that your special day must be a loud celebration of life. But for you, it feels like an exhausting chore you desperately want to avoid. You're not just being a killjoy, and you're not broken. There's a deep, hidden psychological reason why you treat your birthday like a normal day. Picture an ordinary Wednesday morning that happens to be your annual milestone. Your coworkers suddenly burst into your office, loudly singing the familiar celebration song. They place a bright cake on your desk and stare at you with heavy expectation. On the outside, you paste on a polite smile and say thank you. On the inside, your chest tightens and your stomach drops into an anxious knot. You feel completely exposed, objectified, and deeply uncomfortable being the center of attention. You count down the exact seconds until they finally leave you alone. To the world, this looks like a fun, heartwarming surprise. But to you, it feels like an intense invasion of your hard-earned peace. This sharp disconnect reveals a fascinating psychological truth about how we process attention. Most people view a birthday as an automated voucher for unconditional love and visibility. But for a deeply sensitive person, forced visibility triggers a profound sense of emotional danger. If you grew up feeling invisible, sudden attention feels intensely unnatural and unsafe. Your brain struggles to process why one random day makes you suddenly worthy of love. You subconsciously reject the spotlight because it feels like an unearned, hollow performance. Treating the day normally is your mind's clever way of maintaining total emotional control. Psychology shows us that birthday avoidance is often an advanced defense mechanism. It protects you from the crushing weight of unmet expectations and deep personal disappointment. We're told from childhood that our birthday should be the happiest day of the year. This cultural pressure creates a massive, unrealistic standard that your reality can rarely match. If you don't feel blissfully happy, you assume something is fundamentally wrong with you. By treating the day like an ordinary Tuesday, you completely eliminate that toxic pressure. You cannot be disappointed by a day you refuse to hype up in the first place. Take a slow, deep breath and let that realization wash over you. Let's look closely at how this silent defense mechanism plays out in your everyday life. Think of the intense anxiety you feel when someone asks what your birthday plans are. You invent a boring story about being busy just to stop their invasive questions. Consider the deep sadness that quietly creeps in when the sun begins to set. You might spend the evening overthinking every single choice you have made this past year. You measure your actual life against an imaginary timeline of where you should be. The day becomes an unwanted mirror reflecting your deepest insecurities and unfulfilled dreams. Alternatively, your birthday might trigger a painful phenomenon known as the birthday blues. This is a very real psychological state where an individual experiences sudden, intense grief. You are not mourning the passage of time or the physical process of aging. You are mourning the lack of genuine emotional safety in your formative years. You remember childhood birthdays that felt lonely, chaotic, or completely forgotten by adults. Your brain still associates the date with that old, familiar sting of rejection. So, you proactively shut down the celebration to protect your inner child from hurting again. Now, let us pause for a moment and reflect on your past milestones. Think about the years you actually tried to organize a small gathering for yourself. Remember the quiet panic of wondering if people would actually show up for you. You sat by the door, overanalyzing every delayed text and late arrival. The emotional stakes felt so incredibly high that the entire night became agonizing. You realized that relying on others to validate your existence is a dangerous game. That was the exact moment your preference for a normal day quietly took root. You decided that protecting your peace was infinitely better than chasing external validation. But here's the profound twist you might not have realized yet. Treating your birthday like a normal day doesn't mean you lack self-worth. In fact, it often means your sense of self-worth is incredibly stable and mature. You do not need a specific square on a calendar to feel important. You do not require a temporary crowd of acquaintances to prove that you matter. Your value is a constant, quiet reality that you carry inside you every single day. You are not hiding from life. You're simply refusing to participate in a shallow, performative ritual. The world will always try to tell you that noise equals joy and popularity equals love. They want you to believe that a pile of wrapped gifts can heal a lonely heart. They push the exhausting narrative that you must perform happiness on command for others. But the most emotionally resilient people are those who define their own special moments. Your quiet, ordinary birthday is a sign of immense psychological maturity, not a defect. You have mastered the rare art of validating yourself without needing a public audience. When you stop treating the day like a test, you finally find true peace. You unlock the freedom to live purely on your own terms without corporate scripts. The energy you used to waste pretending is now preserved for your genuine growth. You are building a meaningful life that doesn't need an annual party to feel complete. You do not need to force yourself to smile for a crowd that doesn't truly know you. Stop feeling guilty for wanting a quiet house, a simple meal, and beautiful solitude. Trust your boundaries, protect your mental space, and value your independent way of living. The right people will understand your quiet boundaries, and they will honor your preference. Until then, remember that treating a special day normally is a quiet superpower of the truly self-sufficient.